This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
You know, that's just one step above stupid.
What's going on, everybody? Another crazy day in the quote true crime community. All right. Well, thank you to Quietly Frozen, the coolest name in YouTube history. And Eugenie. And by the way, the Beavers aren't playing tonight in Corvallis. They are playing at the Providence Park for some reason. I don't know why they're there. Who the hell knows? Anyways, it's pretty cool. But thank you guys very much for being here and for the super chats earlier there and supporting the channel. Yep. You know, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to lose a lot more of the people that go watch that crazy freaking YouTuber that pretends. So hurry up. If you're one of the people, I was at 77,138 earlier, and I just told the truth on the, it's just so embarrassing. They have a channel where they keep covering Kylie Rodney, 4 shows a day, 8-hour shows, 6-hour shows, putting up the pictures of every kid that was at the party going, I wonder if that person, what were they saying? It's so freaking irresponsible and disgusting. And I went over there and I made a comment. I said multiple comments, because here's the truth. I said on there, I could actually own the Kylie Rodney case if I wanted to. I'm really good at like video editing and trying to show things. I could go out there and pretend, ooh, look how interesting that is. Slow it down on somebody's face as their eyes turn and act like it's something important. But I wouldn't do that. Okay? As soon as she was found, that's it, until because there's no information out there. The only thing that really is Sammy's interview and a couple other interviews that she's done, and everyone else has been pretty quiet. And there's a couple videos and pictures and things. It's just, I don't know, man. I think our true crime community right now is in a really bad place because of channels like that. Unfortunately, they were able to get 30,000 subscribers during the Kylie Rodney by just milking the living crap out of that case. I mean, it is just sick, all right? Now they go, well, you do the same with Delphi. Now, is there anybody in here that thinks that I just sit there and I cover the Delphi case every single day, over and over and over and over? No. There were months when I didn't even cover it. But it's in the news a little bit more, and now I do it maybe once or twice a week, something like that. But they always say that, and you know why they say that? Is because they only watch my channel when I'm covering Delphi because they're interested in that case too. And they go, oh, see, look. They don't tune in on a night like this where we're covering 2 other cases, right? So that's the reality of it. So the perception is, oh, great. And, maybe I've covered Delphi 120 times in 5.5 years. They've covered Kylie Rodney 120 times in a month. Okay, so I think there's a little difference there, if you know what I'm saying. Little difference. So anyways, if you're one of the people, I went in, I even posted, I go like this. If anybody in here is disturbed with what I just said, go, and you happen to be subscribed to me, go over there and unsubscribe really quick. Because I don't want people, like, to be honest with you, if you don't agree with what I was saying over there, there's something wrong with you. Oh, see, there you go, Gray. If somebody doesn't agree. That's like saying, you know, I think racists suck. And then somebody goes, and then somebody else said they didn't think that. And I said, well, if you don't agree with me, you're an idiot. See, you don't accept their opinion. Right. I don't accept it. When you do 4 videos a day on a case that has so little information, and you keep putting up people's faces and pictures and disparaging kids that are just trying to start off their lives without having any information at all leading to them. There aren't weird posts out there. There aren't weird this, there aren't weird that. There isn't all these things where you can go, you know what? That's interesting, because you notice how there isn't any of that. There's none of it. It's just inventing stuff, looking at somebody's face and how they're looking, and oh, look at how she said that. When I listened to the Sammy interview that was on that one guy's channel, I thought she just sounded like she was just talking, and I could make sense of every single thing that she said. But if you don't want it to make sense, you can let it not make sense. Okay? and here's the thing. We don't know what happened. One of these people may be involved at some point. But what I'm telling you right now, it still stands true. Because what about all the other people that were just shown over and over and over again on the screen, and putting them in a terrible light, and it's really kind of bullying them. It's horrible. It's horrendous. I think there could be lawsuits associated with it. You know, when you watch if it turns out to be an accident, there's going to be a lot of videos that just miraculously disappear off the internet. It's going to be amazing. Just how they go, oh, my elbow, it hit the, you know how you guys accidentally timed somebody out in here? That's what it's going to sound like. Hey, thank you very much, Sandy. Really appreciate it. Very kind, very kind. I mean, what do you guys think about what I'm saying? Go ahead. I want to read what you think. I think it's just sick, you know. But they don't see it that way. And the weird part is, I say, you are accusing these kids, and they go, no, we're not. We're just speculating. But let me ask you something. If somebody says it like this, watch this. Wow, did you see how she said that? Why would she say it like that? Whoa, you know, because earlier... Okay, if you're saying it like that, what does that mean? That means you are implying that something they're doing is nefarious, and we need to look at them because they could be part of it. It's not like you're just speculating like we do a lot of times when you have a case where, okay, a wife is going through a divorce with the husband, and then she goes missing just before the settlement of, you know, whatever the hell it is, right? But just before that, right? So just that's reasonable. Like, you're actually looking at the facts that are in the case. Okay, they had a violent past. The wife goes missing just before she's supposed to sign divorce papers, and he was going to owe child support of $1,000 a month. So that alone looks like it could be the husband in that one. Okay, but we don't know for sure. Let's wait until, you know, boom. But when you just have a kid standing in the background, and you have people talking about, look at the way he's looking over there. Look at that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, thanks, Susanna, Nick, Gola, Padre. Yeah. I'm just, I don't know. What do you guys think about what I'm saying?
I'll be back if you want me to.
Hide this under your jail mattress for future bail.
Yeah, man, there could easily be defamation lawsuits against these people. And it definitely is that. It's not, these people did not interject themselves. You know, Sammy, you could say, did. But the way that you're disparaging her, if it turns out she has nothing to do with it, you are in trouble, okay? you guys are. I can tell you that right now. It's ridiculous. Oh God. Oh, and guess who's the father is, Brian, right? It's gonna be the guy who started with a J, right? And there was this big conflict going on. Yeah. I don't know what you call what they're doing, but there's like every single day, 4, 5, 6,000 people watching utter rubbish, where people are just, it's like a what do you call it? It's not a cult, it's just sort of this weird mass sort of hysteria, people just not caring about what's right or wrong. I don't know. They aren't part of the true crime community, I can tell you that. That is, there's very few live streamers that literally just want to cover cases, and that's what you do, right? Yeah, I don't know if you call it a cult or anything. It's just a really strange thing. Like, look at right now, we have 168 people in here, right? And that's because the Kylie Rodney case is sucking the oxygen out of the entire community for no reason at all. There's nothing whatsoever to be discussed at this point. Okay? So, Zav, whatever the hell your name is, you should be ashamed of yourself. What you're doing is absolutely embarrassing. Okay? Yeah, let's reset it. Let's take a look at, hey, I got these things. And no, you don't have shit. Okay? Now, if it turns out that the car was pushed into the water or something like that, great. It'll mean that somebody panicked and pushed the car in the water. But the stuff that's being going on right now is idiotic. Okay? Just sick. Disgusting is what I like to call it. Well, Gray, we want to watch it, though. Oh, well, I don't care. Do you understand? Yeah. They even put my screenshot up on the screen. It was so, like, and then she read. You know, you want to know what she read? She said, she goes, I don't know. There's just cases that really touch me. And, I was really into the Chris Watts case, Suzanne Morphew, this one. And I was thinking to myself, what's weird is, how come there isn't one case out there that touched you that was not popular? Was there ever a case that you covered that wasn't a big case out there? Why are they always the really big ones that you can maximize your sub count and views? Isn't that weird? Okay, isn't that a strange thing? Like, isn't there one case that, maybe even 10 or 12, 15, 20 others that aren't the big ones in the news that were just very interesting, Yeah, you won't see that. Never does, never will. I've seen it. You can go look at the playlist. There isn't one, maybe one time something mentioned. There's Cairo again. Yes, again, Chris Watts. You know what I think? I think you've got the Anadarko Oil app that notifies you anytime in the world the word, the name Chris Watts is mentioned. Yeah. And then people might go, Gray, why don't you just worry about what you do? And don't worry about what other people do. Because I think it's important to care about this type of thing. Don't you guys? Should I just ignore it and just sort of be like, screw it, man. These people should just go out there and put on blast all the kids out there. Every single kid that shows up, their face on a background and a camera. I don't know, man. I think it's worth mentioning and talking about. And thank you, Kathy Freidenmaker and Cairo. All right. So, anyways, I'm going to get moving on to the cases now, but, I just got to say what I got to say. I can't stand it. Well, she does the same thing, Steve. She does exactly the same thing. Okay, so let's not pretend that she's any different, all right? All right, I've watched that crap she has on. It just, wow. It doesn't, you see, people can claim that because they realize that they did it and pretend that they're not part of that while they're doing that. Okay? And by the way, we don't mention. Let's see. Yeah, it's like it's just like when Zav or whatever the hell her name is. I said, hey, I said what she does, and then she said, well, we don't accuse anybody here. We just speculate. See, that's a lie. Okay. The way they word things and the way they refer to things is absolutely accusing the person. If you say something like, wait a minute, whoa, how come oh wow, everybody, she just said McDonald's instead of Burger King. Earlier she said she went to, oh my god, ooh, 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 ooh. Well, that's an accusatory, even though you're speculating, that's not what the head is, okay? Yeah, well, you're absolutely true, right about that. But, it just is what it is. I'm just going to continue to keep doing what I do. And, yes, I do have law enforcement that email saying, hey, good job on that one, good job on that one. We make a difference. We raise tons of money from the income from the channel. The freaks support the channel. Then I donate a huge portion of the income to charities every single month. You'll never see a nickel from that person. I can tell you that right now. And we have funded, I think 4 DNA cases so far, and we have 2 more waiting. Or I think it's actually more like 7 or 8. God, what is it? I can't remember the number now. We've already solved 3, and one of them was from like 3 years ago that just happened through the DNA Doe project, but we gave the money to the sheriff's department, who then used it for that. And then we also did the it was Daniel Armentrout. I was just looking at some Daniel Armentrout case, and then there was another one we don't really talk about that was solved, and then there's DNA being tested on 2 cases that we're funding right now, and then there's a couple more after that. So regardless of anything that happens here, we make a difference. And we also have a ton of money that goes to charities like NCMEC, Texas EquiSearch, RAIN, and I don't know, I think everybody feels good. I know it kind of gets tiresome probably helping support the channel every single night to make that happen, but at the same time, it's just really the only way to make it work. That's it. Hey, thanks, Hella Tricks. Yeah, I mean, if you're curious, I can just tell you, we since January 2020, if anybody is new here, we've donated $97,000 from the income from the channel. Last year was $42,500. This year we have $32,500, which is specialops.org 600, RAIN 4,221, NCMEC 6,165, and the backlog that tests DNA kits that need to be tested from rapes, $500, NCVC 500, DNA Fund 13,500. Texas EquiSearch 5,500, Innocence Project 1,025, and the Wounded Blue Fund 500. So there you go. No matter what, you can't go, oh yeah, well, what do you do? What do you do, Gray? What does your channel do? Well, there you go. Okay, that's the answer, and it is what it is. We work with Identifinders International. They're the genealogists and researchers and all that to determine the identity of the Jane and John Does that we fund.
You're the man, Gray. I don't care what they say. Keep up the good work.
You don't care what they say. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Amber. Yeah, I just think it's something you have to say. And people go, you're just jealous. I mean, would I like to have 4,000 watching actual true crime? Sure. But it's never going to happen for me like that. Okay? It's never going to happen where I'm doing a show just on random cold cases or missing persons where 4,000 people watch. And that's just because of society and how people are. They like to watch entertainment and just sort of wild speculation, fulfilling their dreams.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, thanks for standing up for victims, families, and friends. That alone makes a difference. Yeah, well, there you go. Okay. So this one I saw a couple days ago, but I didn't really, I didn't read enough about it, so we're going to just do that together here and see what the hell is going on. It's crazy. Looks like a weird one. It's the Irene, I think it's Gakwa, maybe? Something like that. Yeah. I mean, there are cases that I cover that just happen to be big, and I might get 1,000 to 1,500 watching. But then, as soon as there's no information, I move on. But you'll see then when the bottom feeding channels just suck up, they'll just go, oh yeah, and then they turn it into a shit show every single time. And then you can't even get back into it feeling good about yourself. You guys get what I'm saying there? Yeah. Special episode when it passes. Yeah, that'd be sweet. I mean, there isn't one YouTuber out there that mentioned that we paid for the Summit County Doe case. There's nobody that even mentioned the Daniel Armentrout. I mean, just one or two. It's just
episode when it passes 100K. That's huge.
Yeah.
The amount of good 100K did.
Or we paid for the solving. I mean, I wish we were the genealogists too. One of the freaks needs to become a genealogist and be part of it, and then we could really just be like, okay, there we go. Yeah, well, you'll never see me do that. I sometimes I feel like when I want to cover the Delphi case, some nights I'm a little bit like, God, should I? Because, but right now there's a lot going on in that one, so I just feel like I need to kind of keep up on it because, with the searching under the bridge, things seem to be moving forward now. It's crazy. But I still don't even do that. It maybe once, twice a week, maybe at this point, just to be like, hey, what are you guys thinking now? They're still searching. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Brian. That's exactly right. All right, here we go. Oops. Almost hit some stupid music right there. All right, so this is the case that I was just talking about of Irene Gakwa. So she moved to the U.S. with big dreams, and this is CNN, met a boyfriend on Craigslist, then she vanished. Yeah, that's just total predator, I bet. So Irene Gakwa's last WhatsApp app video call with her parents was filled with gentle ribbing, but beneath the banner were hints that something was off. When her face appeared on the phone screen, her dad teased her that she looked hungry and tired. Her smile was more subdued, he noted. Her short hair, usually braided, was rumpled. Make sure you drink hot milk and relax, her dad said from his living room in the Kenyan capital of Nairobi. That was February 24th, the last time anyone in her family saw her. A month later, less than 3 years after Gakwa left Kenya for the United States, her family reported her missing. At the time of At the time of the February video call, Gakwa's parents were not aware she was living in Gillette, Wyoming, with a man she'd met on Craigslist. So I'm going to go over to Gillette. And I am reading now, everybody, so you know what that means. Every single time. All right, let's see. Where the hell did that? There it is. Well, the man she'd met on Craigslist forum. They also had no way of knowing that police would later accuse the man of removing money from her checking account maxing out her credit card and deleting her email account. And they never imagined that 6 months would go by without a word from her. She's always been a daddy's girl, said her father, Francis Combo, in a recent phone interview from Nairobi. He took a deep breath as he recalled that last video call with his only daughter and youngest of 3 children. She was supposed to come home for Christmas this year. I was going to buy that ticket myself for her to come if she couldn't afford it. He added, his voice shaking, now I don't know if I'll ever see her again. Gakwa's worried family spans 2 continents, 9,000 miles apart. Her parents live in Nairobi. Her father started worrying in late February when she did not respond to repeated video calls. This was unusual for the 32-year-old who spoke to her parents about every other day. And her written messages sounded odd, her family said. Instead of the mix of Swahili and Kenyan slang, she uses the messages were in stilted English, like someone was using Google Translate to send them. Oh, interesting. So that wasn't even her sending the messages. The text would be out of place, her father said. In early March, between the last video call and the day she was reported missing, her parents received some sort of WhatsApp message from her account. Some made excuses for why she wasn't doing video calls. Dad, I dropped my phone in the water, and now the microphone doesn't work on message. So all these excuses of why there's no more video chat. Another said, I just want you to know I love and miss you. We miss you. We want to see you, not just chat on WhatsApp, her father responded. We love you always. You will. Be my daughter forever. Let's see. Her boyfriend told police she packed her bags and left. Look at this guy. Yeah, I don't know if Zozo's around, but you know something would be coming up on that. The last WhatsApp message came on March 9th, her father said. The 3 siblings share a cell phone family plan after Gakwa's brother could not reach her. They looked through the phone records and called a close friend. That's how they found out she had been living with her boyfriend, Nathan Heitman, 39, in a modest 3-bedroom house in Gillette. The couple had dated since 2020, but had broken up several times, so they dated while she was, I don't know, like how long, when did she get here? I thought it was, we don't know exactly when she came, I guess. That's how they found out she was living with the boyfriend. Her brothers thought they parted ways and were not aware that they had rekindled their romance and moved in together. Romance, huh? Jeez. Yeah, maybe it was like 3 years. Her brothers reported her missing to the Gillette Police Department on March 20th, and an officer talked to Heitman the same day, according to an affidavit. Heitman told the officer he last saw Gakwa in late February when she came home one night, packed her clothing in 2 plastic bags, and left in a dark-colored SUV, the affidavit said. He told police he hadn't heard from her since. He also said he withdrew money from the bank account so she would be forced to contact him if she needed money, the affidavit said. Heitman did not respond to the brothers' request to hand over the stuff in their home. They implored him to give them her documents, including her Kenyan passport. Heitman is considered a person of interest in her disappearance and has not made himself available to detectives. We believe he has information pertaining to the disappearance of Irene, but has elected not to provide that information. CNN has made repeated attempts to reach Heitman via phone. Heitman has not been charged with Gakwa's disappearance, but is a suspect in financial crimes against her after she went missing. Between February and March, Heitman transferred nearly $3,700 from Gakwa's bank account to his own and spent an additional $3,230 on her credit card, court documents allege. He also changed her banking password and deleted her Gmail account. This would indicate it was Nathan Heitman accessing Irene's account, removing money, and changing the password to deny access to Irene. Thanks, Mama 457 Rose. I always get nervous when I'm going to have to read, I can tell you. It's up to you guys to take away that nervousness. Thank you, Dreaming Girl. I don't mean like mentally. It just... Uh-oh. Oh, look at that. See? That's my bot. It knows how to... It says thank you for me, too, even though I say it. It's a house. What does the bot say? It says... boom, Mama 457 Rose, thank you so much. It's a house.
It's a house.
And then, boom, Dreaming Girl, thank you so much. It's a house.
It's a house.
And then Mama 457, support reading time. Keep being you, Gray. And then Dreaming Girl said, quality over quantity. Lovey freaks, of which I proud to be. One, love your mods, love your pup, but most of all, I love you. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Dreaming Girl. Dreaming Girl. And Kathy Friedmaker just sent in some reading juice. This would indicate it was Nathan Heitman accessing Irene's account, removing money, and changing the password to deny it to Irene. Well, that was on... Oh, yeah, these transactions began on February 25th, and yet she... That was February... The last time was February 24th. Well, you don't know, man. She could have been killed on that day, and then he changed the password after getting it from her. All right. Meanwhile, Gakwa's two brothers and her sister-in-law have been commuting to Gillette and Meridian several weeks a month to organize search parties. Most days they have no idea where to begin. They visited morgues and hospitals. They've checked shelters for unhoused people. You mean homeless people? Don't you guys get sick of the political PC terms that they use for everything now? Right, wow. They've launched a website, whereisirene.com. We'll go to that in a minute. Here, let me put that aside. Didn't even know that one was out there. Some residents of Gillette, a city of 32,000 in northeastern Wyoming, have rallied to find her. Her parents had mixed feelings about her move to the U.S. Born and raised in Kenya, Gakwa immigrated to the United States in May of 2019. So, yeah, that'd be about 3 years, and about 3.5 years maybe. Not quite, but hoping to launch a career in healthcare. A petite woman, she stood just over 5 feet tall and weighed about 90 pounds. At first, her parents resisted their introverted daughter's plans to move to Fairway County. They worried about how she'd adjust. She was so shy, she barely left her room in their suburban Nairobi home to go outside, her father said. We sometimes had to remind her to get out of the house and go get some sunlight. Gakwa settled first in Idaho to be near her brothers, with dreams of attending nursing school and working in a hospital. She lived with the younger of her brothers, Chris Munga, and his wife. There she developed a close bond with her sister-in-law. Both women took a girls' trip to Los Angeles in 2020, and in between shopping, eating out, and visits to the beach, Gakwa confided to Abate that she was dating Heitman. Gakwa spent a lot of time with him on the phone, Abate said, but did not share many details about their relationship. Oh, see, here we go. Jeez. Gakwa and Heitman eventually moved in together in Meridian, and she started nursing school in At College of Western Idaho in the summer of 2021, they relocated to Gillette, where she transferred to Gillette Community College. At times, her father would ask Gakwa if she wanted to return to Kenya. She'd tell me, "Dad, I'm good. I have my own life now." In the months before she vanished, Gakwa returned to Meridian several times to visit her family. Last Thanksgiving, they gathered at the house of Munga, her brother. There, she and her siblings made their favorite African delicacies, including goat barbecue, jollof rice, and ugali, a form of cornmeal popular in Kenya. Gakwa cooked a side of cabbage with lots of tomatoes, just like their mother used to make. And then down here, her boyfriend allegedly bought boots and a shovel using her bank card. Oh boy, that doesn't sound good. The Gillette Police Department said it has executed approximately 24 search warrants in the case, including a Heitman's home and at several banks to track activity on Gakwa's accounts. During one of the searches, investigators recovered a shovel and boots Heitman bought at Walmart in late February. Just, oh man, right after she quit talking, right after he transferred the account password. Yeah, I guess what's interesting, maybe he thought that Gakwa gave the password to family members and he didn't want her to have that. I'm trying to figure out why he needed to change the password if she was dead. But he could have thought, well, maybe his family members have the password and he wanted to make sure they couldn't get in and take some of the money. Something like that. I don't know. In April, Gillette Police issued a statement naming Heitman a person of interest in the case. The police added, Irene went missing under suspicious circumstances. Her family is struggling between hope and grief. Yeah, so, yeah, that's crazy. So let me get this guy's name again. Nathan Heitman. I'm just going to look him up really fast. Or as fast as I can do it. Can't imagine there being more than one of those. Yeah, Gillette, Wyoming, right? Yep, there he is. There's 3 in the country, but... Alright, so let's see. This is probably the house. Coming up here. Right there. Nathan Heitman. And then let's go down there. Wouldn't that be crazy if the street view is pretty recent? That's September 2019. I don't know if they... But that's it right there. That's the house that... That's his most recent one. Let's see. Yeah, it said all the way up until 2021, so... You know, it's interesting though. They kept saying Meridian, but he also lived in Meridian too. So he must have moved her away from... Because look at this. He lived in Meridian, Idaho too, where her brothers live. So he must have met her there and then took her as far away as he could possibly take her. That's pretty weird right there. Or cousins anyways. Huh. That's interesting. Because didn't they say in Meridian is where the relatives live? Hold on, let me get that one open up again. Her parents live in Nairobi. Chris Munga and Kennedy Wainana, I don't know how to pronounce that, live in Idaho City of Meridian. Yeah, and then down here, the couple makes the 12-hour drive from their home in Meridian, Idaho to take part in local searches. Right. So these two people, there they are right here. These two people travel. I think they're, yeah, this is they're the brother and sister, it looks like. Chris Munga and his wife, Gayois Abade, attend a vigil for this guy right here, his missing sister in Gillette. So they live in Meridian. So it's interesting that Nathan Heitman lived in Meridian at one point. So that means that that's probably where they met, and then he moved her as far away as, 12-hour drive away, probably so he could do what he was doing, right? Are you guys still here? All right. Okay, I'm going to switch to a different article now. So that was on September 4th. This one is September 14th. Irene Gakwa, 32, thrived upon her move to America. The recent immigrant from Kenya lived with her family in Idaho. There you go. Before moving to Gillette, but also that other guy lived there. Nathan Heitman lived in Idaho, same town. It seemed okay at the time. Everything seemed okay. I didn't really know Nathan, but I said, if you're going to date my sister, I really need to know what you know about you, and it's going to take a time or two to hang out. Gakwa's brother, Kennedy Wayne, I mean, I can't say that name. Wayne Wainena recall. Man, that's a brutal one. So the brother learned that in the summer of 2021, Gakwa moved with Heitman, there you go, to Wyoming. The couple was engaged. So he lived there, and then he moved took her to Wyoming. They were engaged, but the brother grew concerned when he noticed that Gakwa's text had changed. We're from Kenya, and sometimes we mix English and a language called Swahili. He added that we mix a word from English and a word from Swahili, so I can tell that's her. But then on March 5th, I texted her and asked her something. She texted back, and it was only English. So now that I know what I know, maybe it wasn't her. Right. Definitely wasn't her. Still, the brother is desperate to know more. Gakwa was reported missing in March. Heitman told police. All right, let's listen to this.
In our Missing series tonight, we take you to Wyoming and the mysterious disappearance of Irene Gakwa. As you are about to see, Irene had big plans for her
News
future.
Nation.
She wanted to be a nurse. She has a family that loves her, and they say she would not take off without telling them. They also don't buy the story they're getting from the man she was planning to marry.
Irene Gakwa thrived after her move to America, splitting time living with her brothers, making friends, taking classes to be a nurse. Then she met a man on Craigslist.
It seemed okay.
Yeah, not the greatest
At the time, everything seemed okay, and I didn't really know Nathan, but I told him, hey, if you're going to date my sister, I really, need to know more about you, and it's going to take a time or two to hang out.
Kennedy Wainina learned that in the summer of 2021, Irene moved with Nathan Heitman to Wyoming, and the couple was engaged. Then he says Irene's texts started to raise concern.
So we're from Kenya, and sometimes we mix English and a language called Swahili. We'll mix a word of English, 2 words of Swahili.
Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek.
Her. But then on March 5th, I text her and ask her something, and she texts back in English, like plain English. So now that I know what I know, maybe it wasn't her.
But Wainina is desperate to know more. Heitman told police Irene packed clothing into 2 plastic bags and announced that she was leaving Gillette, Wyoming, then got into a dark-colored SUV and left the area.
I think that's false. Yeah. That's a false story. Right. That's just, something he was just saying to just get the police off his porch.
Police were back on that porch soon enough, arresting Heitman, charging him with draining Irene's bank accounts, deleting her email account, and using her credit card at Walmart to buy a shovel, a pair of boots, and a pair of pants. Police say Heitman claimed he did it to force her to contact him in the event she needed money.
Today is 200 days since Irene disappeared.
Stacy Kester never met Irene, but that has not stopped her from putting in hundreds of hours of time looking into the case. She's organized.
Yeah, don't you remember that? Calming the chaos? What do you mean, seriously? Star Trek right here? What does that mean, calming the chaos? Are you going to do one of your crazy sessions again tonight? Yeah, Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek spoke Swahili. That's why I remembered it. Don't you remember that? Or is there something wrong with saying that? Seriously? Star Trek, Ray Hughes? Go ahead. We're going to pause the show. We got to wait for Calming the Chaos. Go ahead. What complaint do you have this time, Calming the Chaos? Go ahead. Okay. I'm just going to get you out of here. I don't like you. All right? So, bye. Go do something else. All right, let's see. He added that we... that lady drives me nuts.
To search with horses that specialize in human decomposition. The teams
I don't even
used
care if you're a channel
dogs,
member. Get the hell out of
literally
here.
covering hundreds of miles.
God.
There is a lot of vast open country, and one main road may have 50 to 60 side roads, twist and turn. So it's covering the areas and making sure that you don't go over those same places repeatedly.
And I've covered many missing person cases, and this one felt differently because of nobody at the searches knew who she was.
Wyoming truth journalist Jennifer Coker is amazed at the determination of these search teams. Police have asked the public to be on the lookout for a 55-gallon metal drum, which could be burned and abandoned.
Most recent searches are kind of zeroing in on that barrel, which helps save time too, because you can see a barrel from, we're in these, some of the grass is chest high in some cases along the highway. So we're kind of clomping through stuff. I have a ski pole I use.
The use of social media to find Irene is making for another bizarre...
Yeah, so it's crazy. Let me go down here. It says, Coaster organized a search with horses that specialize in human decomposition, used cadaver dogs, and covered hundreds of miles. There's a lot of vast open country, and one main road may have 50 to 60 side roads, twists and turns. So it's covering the areas and making sure that you don't go over those same places repeatedly. Wyoming truth journalist Jennifer Coker is amazed at the determination of the searchers. I've covered many missing person cases, and this one felt different because nobody at the searches knew who she was. Police have asked the public to be on the lookout for a 55-gallon metal drum. I mean, that's just... ugh. That could be burned and abandoned. Most recent searches are kind of zeroing in on the barrel, which helps save time too, because you can see a barrel from, in some cases, along the highway. But he had a shovel. So I think he probably dug a hole, put her in a barrel, and then buried. Wow, so that's interesting, right? Because he probably dug a hole, put her in a barrel, put the barrel with her in it in the hole, and then covered it up to try to minimize any sort of tracking with scent dogs, because maybe the barrel was sealed in a way where odor wouldn't get out, right? Did any of you guys think it was just absolutely wild that I brought up the Lieutenant Uhura Swahili? Like, most of us don't hear even the word Swahili often at all. That's just where it came from, I remember. But you always got these holier-than-thou sort of moral superiority police idiots that show up and always have something to say if it just wasn't exactly right. I mean, it's just wild, man. It's unreal. It's scary almost. And they pretend that, oh, I'm a psychologist. Wow, really? Jesus. I hope you don't have any paying customers, man. They'd really be let down, I can tell you that. Oh, really? So it still has snow that time of year? Yeah, that guy's massive. Police have asked the public to be on the lookout for a 55-gallon metal drum. Yeah, I think he probably buried the metal drum. I don't know if Suzanne is in here, but if you put a person that isn't decomposed yet inside of a barrel, seal the barrel up, and then bury the barrel, I doubt that the decomposition will be detectable by a dog, because the decomposition happened while inside the barrel and it was sealed. Wouldn't that be pretty difficult to have the decomp exit the barrel, the odor, for the dog to detect? Yeah, I didn't think it was either, Element Open. It wasn't at all. I just said, oh yeah, it's like Star Trek, Lieutenant Uhura, Swahili. That's it, you know? People that watched it would know exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see why they keyed on the barrel. Now let me go to the other. One more. This one was from today, also on CNN. The search for a missing woman in Wyoming partly revolves around a mysterious 55-gallon drum. Irene Gakwa was last seen by her family during a video call on February 24th and was reported missing in late March. She was 32 at the time. The Kenyan immigrant lived in Gillette with her boyfriend, there we go, Nathan Heitman, who was considered a person of interest in her disappearance. He's separately charged with 5 felonies for allegedly transferring money from her bank account. I mean, the guy, it's just so obvious, right, that the guy is responsible for her disappearance. There isn't even remotely a chance that there's something else. Right? So he's separately charged with 5 felonies for allegedly transferring money from the bank account, changing her online banking password, making out her credit card, and deleting her email account after she vanished. Wearing t-shirts with the words, "Where's Irene?" and "Team Irene," the women have logged hundreds of miles in their cars. Now let's get down to here. Last weekend, their search included about 24 people, 10 horses, and ATV donated by local residents. A big focus of their search is a 55-gallon metal drum that Gillette police say may be connected. We believe that barrel is a key part of the investigation. I mean, yeah, again, like, where did it come from? In a May statement, Gillette police said they are requesting information regarding the possibility of a 55-gallon metal drum which may have been burned and or abandoned within the country, or within the county. That's such a weird, like, so vague there. Police have declined to say why they're seeking detail, there you go, about the, so we don't get to know, about the drum or what role it may have played. But Gakwa's oldest brother, Kennedy, said Gillette police told the family that a neighbor... See, I was wondering if you could see it. I was going to actually go up in the air here. And that was there. Let's go up into the Wyoming location. I was just wondering if maybe in the backyard there was you could see a barrel or something. But the oldest brother said Gillette police told the family that a neighbor reported seeing what appeared to be fire burning, almost like the Chad Daybell backyard. A fire burning in a drum in Heitman's backyard between late February and March. Oh boy. Police told them they searched Heitman's property but didn't find the drum. In a statement to CNN, Dan Stroop, the lead detective in the case, declined to share additional details on the drum. I'm not able to provide any comment on the barrel other than it's an item of interest that we would like to examine as part of the investigation. CNN has left messages via text and email with 2 neighbors of Heitman's but have not received a response. Coaster and others are now combing the area for the drum, although the search is complicated by the fact that the northeastern Wyoming is full of oil and natural gas fields. Yeah. So as you can see, everybody, now that I'm reading, we sound just like this. Yeah. So if you guys would like to help support the channel so that we can keep doing what we're doing, that would be great. You can use either Super Chats, or if you want, you can buy one of the notebooks for $25, and then you also get 8 pieces of pie, I guess, in the spin. If you win the notebook again, then you get a mug instead. Then you have a mug and a notebook. But that would be using PayPal. But, every night on here we try to raise funds that allows me to keep doing what I'm doing on a nightly basis. Let's see. And then at the end of the month, when all the income comes in, I donate over 50% of the net revenue to various charities. And that's kind of how we work here. It's a symbiotic relationship. But, it just is what it is. I think my cousin should take a trip there because the barrel theory won't work as... Well, I don't know, Susanna. I think if you sealed somebody in a barrel, you're not going to get decomp coming out. I can tell you that. I know you always want to side on the side of the dog, like they can just smell everything, but I bet you it's a lot more difficult when there's a body inside of a metal barrel and it's sealed. That's what I think. Let's see. Yep. Thank you, your gypsy. Yeah, so it's the same pictures. There's the guy again. Man. Yeah, it is Patsy Cline. I mean, we absolutely, the freaks are, they take care of me and the channel, and they're the reason why we're able... I guess you could say that's what I'm saying. It's a symbiotic relationship, because I do the shows, and then people show up, support the channel, and then in return, we donate a ton of it back. So everybody wins all the time. And, it's a great situation. It works perfectly. Yeah, he's way bigger than Keegan. This guy probably weighs 400 pounds. I mean, he's huge. Well, yeah, I don't know how big Keegan is now. But why bring up Keegan? Like, what does Keegan have to do with it? Yeah, wow, that's a crazy one. Man, poor lady. She comes over to the United States to find a better life for herself. And then probably, the guy sort of catfished her almost off of Craigslist. Except when she met him, he was the Kagan Klein looking guy. But apparently they still were together. I don't know if it was like one of those citizenship situations where somebody thinks, well, if I get married, I can become a citizen. I mean, I don't understand how she would be attracted to him, nor feel like he was somebody that, like, oh, wow, he's great. Yeah, I don't know. But, it could have been something like she just really wanted to... She maybe pretended to like... I don't know if he would do that or not. I just don't understand the whole thing, like how it all went down. I'd like to know what his Craigslist ad said on it. And then how scary too. She's with him and then they're dating and he somehow convinces her to move 12 hours away. I mean, just a ridiculous amount of time. It's just really far away from her family, isolating her. And then almost immediately after that, I think, was that in the previous article? Let me go back. Summer. There was a portion that mentioned when they moved there. I can't remember if it was that article, the one. Oh yeah, so they moved in the summer of 2021. So, if that's July or whatever, that'd be 5, 6, so 7 months later, he's already got control of her accounts, and she's missing, and he was burning something in a barrel that doesn't exist anymore in the backyard. That's not good. Well, and one of the things too is she's introverted, so shy. I guess it's possible he made her feel better or something. I don't know. It's just a weird scenario. What do you guys think about that? Thank you, Mary Glaviano. It gets the word out there. We'll continue looking. Yeah, no. Well, I wish they could get the word out to more people, but unfortunately, when I'm doing a show and then there's somebody doing a show on Kylie Rodney with 5,000 people watching, it makes it hard to, try to get anybody to come in and maybe take a look at something else, because it's so cool to look at those kids in the background. Ooh, you just never know what they're gonna do. Yeah. I don't know what he did for work or anything. I mean, he must have had some sort of money. He was able to buy another house. Let's take a look at the web page here. Are there people? Oh, yeah. Shoot. That'd be cool if they shared what people's interactions were. Very small. Yeah, there isn't really a lot of information on here. She was last seen by her family on February 24th on a video call. She had recently moved from Boise, Idaho to Gillette, Wyoming with her boyfriend. So I guess obviously then he would have had an address there. Although she was very independent, her family and friends became very concerned after not hearing from her and unusual responses. Now let me check if he's got any criminal. Yeah, I am bitter about it, a little bit about it, Freethinker. I think it sucks that idiots like you go over and watch, the same just bull crap every single day. It's people like you that ruin the whole genre. I try to do true crime in a way where it is respectable to the actual crimes, okay? Like literally going through the facts of a case, not being a dumbass like yourself who just likes entertaining bullshit, okay? So you get the hell out of here and you go watch whatever the hell you want to watch, okay? God, what a fool. All right, so he's got improper control. I don't know what that means. Something RD, improper control. I don't know if that's a moving violation or doesn't really say what that is. Does have one charge in there. Yes, you are, Freethinker. Bye-bye. Okay, go troll somebody else. All right, bye-bye. I'm one of the few people that actually does this genre the right way. Okay, and unfortunately, I'm going to stick with it, regardless of people like you. Okay. All right. Does that sound good? Sweet. Yeah. You've looked up. You've never looked up to anything. Jesus, what a joke. Yeah, let's see. I've never known anyone who closed an old burn barrel. And we don't know what it is though. Yeah, I mean if the barrel's open, of course they're going to, the odor is going to get out and the dog will be able to find it. But yeah, now that it's a burn barrel, yeah, maybe you guys are right. Like, it's not like you can probably seal that up as well as if you went out and bought a 55-gallon drum with the lid on it that you could hammer down, seal it up, duct tape it around and stuff like that. Yeah, I try to, Christy, but nobody ever thinks that. They always think I only cover the Delphi case. You know, it's bizarre. I just think she was naive to how some men... But why would she want to be with him, though? I mean, she's tiny, and that guy weighs like 400 pounds. And he's not, you know, there's no, like... She's cute, right? Like, he is not at all. So to me, it seems like... I don't know, was he just saying the right things or whatever? I don't know. It's something's odd about the whole thing. I'll unhide Freethinker. If he wants to come back and be a rational member of society, he can be here. Maybe he was charismatic. I guess, man. He was a regular old Ted Bundy, huh? Yeah, I mean, it could be something like that, where she was willing to accept him for what he was so that she could become a citizen quicker. I don't know if we have like a deal set up with Kenya, because I know Obama, may have had some, ancestry there, so maybe they set up something where they had a little quicker route, maybe like the Philippines or something. I don't know. I haven't looked into that at all, but they speak English over there, so. Oh, and I guess Swahili too. Oh yeah, and Lieutenant Uhura on the original Star Trek spoke Swahili. Maybe she didn't think highly of herself. Thought that was all she could get. Yeah, maybe because she's introverted, right? So she might be shy, and finally somebody's paying her attention. He might be a predator for exactly that type of person, right? This whack job. What the hell is his name again? Nathan Heitman. He may have known just what to say to the right type of person. You lure them in. He probably just thought, man, I've hit the jackpot, when she was really tiny too. I mean, if she was 5'8" and maybe 160 pounds or something, you might not have had as easy of a time to do whatever he did. I mean, she's only 89 pounds and 5 feet tall. I mean, just absolutely tiny. And so he could just do whatever he wanted to do. And disposing of her would be a lot easier than, again, somebody that weighed 60 pounds and 5'8", something like that. I mean, she's tiny, so yes, she would fit in a barrel. And man, that's creepy. I think that's where he lived. And there's a lot of space behind it. I wonder if they've put homes in there since. Let me look. That's March of 2021. So it would have only been yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's hard. We don't know what the... that's the latest one. That's all there is. But it looks like they're planning on building... Although that's a main road there. So maybe this is... that doesn't look like that road would have been meant to be for putting more homes. Let me look. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like that. I mean, it does look like you could put more homes there, but it looks... The roads kind of have a different look to them. That's a straight one that goes... Looks like it's for traveling. So this could definitely be another place here, but... I don't know if by now there's homes here. I doubt it. So... Wouldn't that be weird if that was the barrel right there? But that's probably just a barbecue or something. That would be crazy, right? When's this one? See, this is March 6, 2021. So he isn't there yet. So this is probably the home, because he went there in the summer of 2021. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, I don't have much more to offer on that one, but man, that's a crazy one. Let's keep, if you get any updates or anything, make sure to send them to me. That's weird. That's a creepy as hell. I mean, man, you come all the way over from Kenya, over here, Nairobi, come over here, and then you go to Idaho to live with your brother, and then you meet this creepy ass guy named Nathan Heitman on Craigslist, because he had this, you know, probably even a creepier ad, and she responded to it, and somehow they started dating, and the brother was always like, oh, that's kind of weird, and then eventually Nathan, hold on, I gotta scroll over to a different window here. Yeah, so Nathan took Irene all the way to, I think it was Wyoming, right? To Gillette, Wyoming, to this house we're looking at on the screen right here in the summer of 2021. And then she would keep in contact with their family using FaceTime, talking and stuff like that. And then in February 24th, there was the last conversation. She didn't look normal, and then they'd never seen her again after that. There was always excuses of why. Oh, the phone that, via text messages. Oh, it doesn't work. Something happened to the camera. It fell in the water. Da 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 da. Then there was text messages that didn't seem like they were her, because she normally spoke in sort of a combination English Swahili, which that she didn't do that in the conversations that she was having, so it made the brother nervous about that. Now that he knows what's going on, he said, in retrospect, it seems like that wasn't her that was communicating. And he switched right after that day that the family saw her on the 24th, the very next day on the 25th, she, you don't hear from her anymore, but Nathan switched her bank account, password and everything, then started using her credit cards and the bank account. So in grand total, like $6,000. And at one point, he even bought a shovel and some boots, right? So at that point. And then a neighbor said they saw him burning something in a barrel. So what it could be a situation that he burned. I mean, this is just kind of sick, but maybe he burned her in the barrel, and then after she was burned enough, he took her out of the barrel, put her in a plastic bag or something, and then disposed of the barrel somewhere else. Maybe dumped it in a lake and it just sank to the bottom, and it would just stay there because it's not sealed or anything. It would just make a hole in the bottom and fill up and go to the bottom, and then he takes the plastic bags and puts them somewhere else. Who the hell knows? I mean, it's just crazy. I didn't realize that this one was this weird, to be honest with you. Absolutely nuts. What do you mean had custody? What are you talking about? What's funny about custody? I don't get it. Oh, custody of tablet. Oh, I see. Yeah, but you typed in a full sentence. Wow, that was so long ago. Oh yeah, that's right. They'll search for a barrel now. Got weird crap out there. So he lives here. I mean, we have no indication of anything. They probably have cell records of where he might have gone, I would imagine. Man, there's like no trees anywhere where they live. Why would you move to Gillette, Wyoming? I guess we could ask all these people that question, but great, it's a great place. Well, let's see. Actually, maybe I'm being too harsh. Let me go down to a street view here and just take a look. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool with the open plains and everything. Be a cool place to fly a drone, I can tell you that. Yeah, I mean, it could be anywhere. This is such a vast area. I mean, look at how much land there is. It basically, if he didn't bring his cell phone with him and he's not on camera, this can be brutally hard to find where she might be. It's not going to be somewhere close, you know. Look at all this open land out here. This is just all kind of like desert, basically. And this was in the summer, so you could, let's see. Well, no, it was in February, so it might have been hard to dig, you'd think. It's late summer. I don't know what the temperature is like around early March, but he may have had her stored somewhere. I'd like to know when he bought the shovel and boots precisely. That would be an indication of, like, that's going to be right around the time she was killed, when he bought the boots and the shovel. Don't you think? I mean, he could have bought the boots and the shovel for something else, but it doesn't seem like it. Using her credit card. Yeah, she just wanted to get him away. That's what I was saying. Alright, we're going to switch now. Switch cases. We got this one in the books here, and we know what happened so far. I mean, it sounds like it's pretty obvious. The key now is just finding her, and he's not going to say anything. So, you know, unless he had his cell phone on him, like all idiot criminals do, they're not going to find him. I don't know, Blaze. Well, you don't need to have a body to prove anything. You know, they can put circumstantial evidence together. I think this one's really obvious. Yeah. Circumstantial evidence can be just as strong as direct evidence if you can string it together to tell a story. So, yeah, obviously they've got evidence. They've already charged him with various financial crimes. Yeah, I hope they find her too. I doubt he would put her somewhere close like this, though. That'd be dumb. And over here, and he would just, I don't know what kind of vehicle he has either. So let's see. It does say that he owned a Pathfinder. Wow. The car is $178,000. Jesus. That's nuts. I don't know if he still owns that, but that was... wait. No, that was... never mind. I thought it was... I went to the assets and it said Pathfinder. That's his address. He lives on a street called Pathfinder. I was like, what the hell? Why'd you put that under there? I was looking at automobiles. So it says a Ford Mustang, and that was it. That's pretty funny, though. I was like, wait, Pathfinder? That's the name of the street that he lives on. I was going to say, that's the most expensive Pathfinder I've ever heard. What'd you make it out of gold? Yep, they're frustrating. Okay, so now we're going to move to 2010. It's going to be a lot of reading, everybody. So I'm going to need some energy. All right, we got hour and 30 minutes to do this. All right, so this is the case of, hold on, it's like Sonia, I think it's Varaschin, I think is how you might pronounce that. Sonia Varaschin. So she went missing first. So we got right here, concern mounts for missing woman. A missing, and this is in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. A missing woman, a bloodied car, and an empty home have residents of Orangeville fearing the worst as police continue to comb the small community for clues. Sonia Varaschin, 42, was last heard from on Sunday. The next day, police found her bloodied white Toyota Corolla parked in an alley near Broadway Street. So let's see. So this is in missing woman, bloodied car, and empty home have residents of Orangeville. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get the address. They're not really that good about that. God, my stomach's just went, oh, you guys can hear that? Oh, jeez. Hey, thanks, Daryl Montgomery. Man, just died down again. It's crazy in here. This case happened 15-20 minutes from me. Surprised you even found it. Yeah, I don't know how I found it. It just sort of came up. I don't even remember. Right. Right. Yeah, don't do any like, oh yeah, well there's this place, you know. That's what people do a lot. Yeah. Well, you already jumped ahead, Daryl, because right now she's only missing. Okay, let me put the pin here. Yeah, I've never heard of it till just now. Thanks, Eugenie. This is the first time I've heard of it. That's okay, Daryl. Don't worry about it. Wasn't that bad. I mean, of course, I even said at this time she's only missing, so I think that's pretty. Hey, thanks, Quietly Frozen, for the reading juice. Yeah, definitely gonna need that. Alright. A missing woman, bloodied car, and an empty home have residents of Orangeville fearing the worst as police continue to comb the small community for clues. Sonia Varaschin, 42, was last heard from on Sunday. The next day, police found her bloodied white Toyota Corolla parked in an alley near Broadway Street. So, So this is Broadway Street, an alley, so we don't really know yet. So I think all this might be on maps they have in here. All right, Broadway Street. Okay, and then just minutes from her Spring Street. Okay, now we get the more specific. Spring Street. Alright, so this is the street she lives on. Right over here. And so that's a really tiny, it's just this one, this one, this one, and maybe, you know, just one of these right here. So I'm just going to say that she lived right here for now. Hey, thank you, Huck Karinsky. Let's see if they have that on Street View. Oh, look at that. So it's either that house at this point, this house, or one of these. Well, that looks like one that they've connected. I don't know. That's weird as hell there. And, or one of these right here. I don't know. I don't think it keeps going at the end. Yeah, that's it. So it's just right there. And it said just minutes from there. So I guess we'll figure out where that is in a little bit. Okay. One resident told local media of a gruesome scene with blood smeared across the rear of the vehicle. As of late yesterday, however, there were still no signs of Miss Varaschin. We're very concerned for her safety, and we're doing everything we can to try to find her. Authorities had sectioned off Alexandra Park in the area of downtown Orangeville where Miss Varaschin's car was found. Okay, so now we can narrow that down, and there's an alley at the park. So let's see. Alexandra Park. There it is. And that's going to be an alley just minutes away. And they said it was off of Main Street. So that's, I mean, Broadway Street. So there's Broadway Street. There's the park. They said an alley. So probably like right over here, I would think. Yeah, I think this is an alley right here, right? Yeah, so probably parked right here at the, you know, the alley parking lot, basically, I would think. So car found here, maybe? What do you guys think? Yeah, I think it's an alley too, right? Like down here it's an alley. There just happened to be parking there, but this is definitely an alley right here, 100%. Like that's not a road there, and then it just happened to be by the park, and they have the park sealed off. So that is probably very close. So, you know, I don't think I got that live. This is wrong right here. That was just the original one for the town. So she lives right here. Her car was found right there. So let's save this now. All right. Neighbors Stephen Lundy, a resident of the quiet dead-end Spring Street, heard a ruckus late Sunday night in the vicinity of Mrs. Varaschin's home. I was sleeping and pretty much woke up to car tires squealing and yelling, Mr. Lundy recalled. Joe Luz, who also lived on the street, said he only knew Miss Varaschin well enough to exchange greetings with her, but was shaken by the news. This lady never made problems here. She was a nice lady, Miss Luz recalled. I'm scared because here there's normally no problem here. Miss Varaschin, who lived alone and failed to show up to work on the day a suspicious vehicle was reported in the alley near Broadway, investigators said. Family members reached in Albion, just outside Bolton, declined to comment on the 42-year-old's disappearance. Police were appealing to the public for any information that could assist in locating Ms. Varaschin, described as 5'1", 125 pounds, with brown hair and light-colored streaks. All these links are in the description, by the way, if you need to go there and check it out later. Both OPB officers and Orangeville Police were investigating yesterday, but would not comment on potential suspects. We're still looking for her. Constable Beckett said, "We don't want to speculate about what's happened to Sonia." Until about a month ago, Miss Varaschin was employed at the South Lake Regional Health Center. Hold on a second. Let's see. Health Center. South Lake spokesman Andrea Griepsma, said Mrs. Varaschin left of her own volition to pursue another job. The recent news has been highly unsettling for staff, he added. Our colleagues and everyone here is greatly concerned for her and hoping for the best, Ms. Griepsma said. Her colleagues are just all pretty shaken up right now. So they don't really mark anything here. Wait, 1, 2, 2. What's the one? Police find Sonia's Varaschin's white four-door Toyota Corolla parked in an alley near Broadway. So they have a 1. So let's see how close we have it. So they have her car like right there. I think it was probably parked there, but they have it on the map here. So we're close. See, 1's right there. 2, police block entrance to the park in an area behind the town hall. And then 3, police find blood on Sonia's home on Spring Street. So, that's Spring Street over there again. So we have the right spot, but we don't know which one is her home currently. Although they have it kind of like in. Now they have this street here. I think. Let me look at this again. Now they have this street, and then this one. So it's somewhere right around in this area. That's basically where they have the pin. I'm just going to move this back where I had it, because I think it's more likely they just parked it right there in the parking lot. When they make these maps, they're not really specific. Like, they don't zoom in on Google Earth or anything like that. Many of Miss Varaschin's neighbors described her as a pleasant woman who led a quiet lifestyle and expressed shock at the developments. It's kind of freaky. I knew up in the city, so stuff like this happens. But Orangeville is a quiet, small town. It's a little disconcerting, said Lisa, who did not want her name used. She said Miss Varaschin sometimes worked odd shifts in her job as a nurse at Southlake, so she's a nurse. Another audibly distressed neighbor described Miss Varaschin as a sweetheart and a good friend. We're pretty upset in this area. Sonia was a great person, and that's all we're going to say. So that was one. Got a few of them here. Alright, so then it says, don't you hate when people, okay, there's blood smeared all over the car. She was screaming, and they can't find her, and police suspect foul play. Really? Wow. That is some great sleuthing there, you guys. Thank you for the update. Yeah. Hey, thank you very much. Tomorrow. Not today, but tomorrow. And congrats on your new job out there. Very cool, very cool. 2 days after 42-year-old Sonia Varaschin's blood-filled Toyota Corolla was discovered in Orangeville, the OPP have confirmed that violence was involved in her disappearance. Thank you so much for confirming that. Orangeville police began to search for Varaschin after she failed to show up to work Monday morning. Her white Toyota was found at 10 a.m. that day in Orangeville. Blood was found on the bumper inside the trunk and car. Police also found blood in Varaschin's residence. Police were appealing to the public for any information that would assist in locating Varaschin. On the bumper inside the trunk. Yeah, so man, she was killed, put in the trunk. The car drove, parked there, and they went somewhere. Either there was another person or they lived somewhere close, like within a mile, and then walked after they dumped the car. All right, so hey, there we go. So just so you can see, let me show you. Hold on a second, let me show you this. So here is the, we're on this one right here, okay? There's a bunch of them in there. The articles are these. So we just got done with that one. All right, hey, we're on to the third one though, you guys. So here we go. A lot of them, like this one's a little bit longer. Let's see what this one says. This one's on September 3rd. Hey, thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. No. Okay. I'll put the other name in there. I think that's the right one. I can't tell. It wasn't a quote on it. I thought you were just... Alright. Thanks for the PayPal there. Right. Police hunting clues for Orangeville nurse Sonia Varaschin disappearance. Fear she may be dead. A lead OPB detective said Thursday. Despite continued hope, we're preparing the family and ourselves for the worst. He would not discuss details. I think that what they did was the amount of blood they found in the vehicle was something they probably figured out was like a fatal wound of some sort. He would not discuss details, including blood found in her Spring Street home and small car abandoned near the town hall, a hospital for sick children nurse in Toronto, until she quit last September to work at a new Market hospital. Varaschin failed to show up for work Monday at a Mississauga pharmaceutical firm. You know what I don't like about Canada is all the names of everything. Jeez, you almost have to be a linguistic expert to pronounce anything anywhere up there. It's incredible. It's and letting out people that cut people's heads off in 5 years. I've said them all right so far. Oh man, that's a miracle. No suspect has been suggested by police, but Pritchard said it is unlikely it will be a stranger. A Facebook message Varaschin sent a former classmate early in 2009 said she remained single, almost married twice, but a good thing it didn't happen. A YouTube video a friend posted from a vacation that July in Tonkin Valley in Jasper, Alta, something or other, shows her laughing and enjoying time with great girlfriends. Earlier Thursday, the task force issued a statement dismissing several media reports as erroneous and unsubstantiated. It was put out after a Toronto radio station quoted an unnamed police source telling a reporter Varaschin was murdered and dismembered in her home. In an interview, OPP Constable Peter Leon said Varaschin's recent boyfriend has been spoken with, and the driver of a van filmed driving past the town hall early Monday contacted officers and was unable to assist us. Orangeville Police Chief Joseph Tomei urged town and rural residents to look for anything out of place or suspicious. About 100 officers are continuing combing ever wider areas. Reached out at her Bolton area home Thursday. Mom Michelle Varaschin said, "We're doing fine. We have a lot of friends and family. I don't want it to talk," she said. "I hope they find her. That's it." On Facebook, friends announced a 7 to 11:30 p.m. Sunday candlelight prayer vigil outside Orangeville's town hall. Regretting living too far away to attend, Kimberly Moyles called the vigil a sweet thought for a sweet girl. Oops, let me close that one down there. And then it says, this is interesting. Now it's sort of almost kind of, makes you sort of wonder if that rumor was correct, because now they're talking about betting. The mysterious disappearance of an Orangeville woman led to a grim police appeal on Friday that asked residents to look for her missing blood-soaked bed sheets and a suspect who likely returned home covered in a significant amount of blood. Sonia Varaschin, a 42-year-old nurse, went missing late Sunday or early Monday morning, and although her family still pleads for her safe return, investigators presented an increasingly desperate picture. The most likely scenario is that someone she knew. I don't think that there's like this member. I don't know. We don't really know that, but it sounds like she definitely was. There's probably a knife involved and arteries and just like, a lot of savagery there. It's not likely a gunshot. The scenario suggested Friday is that Varaschin was attacked in her home and her bedding, a beige sheet and matching comforter were used for the disposal of biological evidence or just a convenient way of concealing her. Yep, that makes sense. Police believe she was then removed from her townhouse and put into her car. Okay, so that we got that part right. I didn't realize that she was, it sounded like she was maybe killed outside by the way the neighbor was talking about it, but maybe it was so loud, the screams, that she could hear it inside. Hey, thank you, TTJO. I've just been so pumped, by the way. The computer has no errors at all anymore. Whatever it is that Dell puts on the computers for you guys, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it crashed 5 or 6 times, blue screen of death. Various software programs weren't working. And as soon as I just reinstalled it using Microsoft and none of their crap, it worked. And hasn't had any problems since then. Now, let me knock on some wood. Yeah, that's what it seemed like, right, Christy? Yeah, definitely made it sound like that, but we were just assuming. Was that the one I just did? Let's see. Yeah, I just did that one. Okay, and there's a picture of her. And then human remains found near where woman vanished. Wow, so near there. Jeez. Undisclosed human remains found early Sunday in a rural area about 12 kilometers east. So it's not really near, right? I mean, why bother saying near? That's ridiculous. East of where Orangeville nurse Sonia Varaschin vanished 6 days earlier. Jonathan Beckett said a coroner was summoned to the site on Beach Grove Side Road. Okay, so let's go there. Beach Grove Side Road. So it should go. Yeah, I gotta rotate it there. Wow. Okay. Is it this road here? Is that the one? Yeah, so it's on this road. Beach Grove Side Road. Okay, so we just put that there and we save it. Make sure we don't lose that. And now we, later on we'll get that more dialed in, but as you can see, that is, let's switch it to kilometers here. And, well, they said 12 kilometers, right? So that might be able to help. Let's see. Well, it's that road, so if it's 12 kilometers, 12 12 kilometers east of where, so I bet you if the way they would have driven there would have been something like this, down, down, like here, and right now we're at 5.23, well, let's switch it to kilometers, 8.41, could be that direction too though, but they're saying east, so I'm just going to guess for now up in this area. Alright, that's just a guess. That's probably, it could be completely wrong, but I don't want any help there. Alright, you got that? Alright. They could have driven this way too, but either way it's probably the same mathematically if you went that way. This one looks like a little shorter, so alright. Let's see. Andrews Road, east of Highway 10. Oh, so now they're saying east of Highway 10. Hold on. That's 9. There's, okay, so there's 10. So yeah, I think I got so this is 10 this way. So I'm in the right general direction now after you get there. Okay, east of Highway 10 in the rural community of, okay, now we say Caledon. Let's see. Well, there, it's already there. So let's see. Okay, well, Caledon's just this big area. East Caledon, all this. Caledon's right there. It's all over the place, so we don't know what that doesn't help anything. Alright. So that's her. Near where woman Varaschin disappeared from her Orangeville home last week. I wonder if that's a picture outside of her home. Let's just take a quick look here. See if there's anything that looks anything remotely like that here. And that picture could be from anywhere, you know. I don't think. Well, no, that doesn't look right. Hold on. Actually, that is there. I think. I mean, I think it is. Hold on a second. I think this might be your house right there. I mean, I don't know if that's really what I'm looking at or not. I don't know if this is new. Yeah, see, this brick shit wasn't there before, right? See this brick? That looks like something was just added on, right? Watch this. So let me just ask you, do you think, because look at this right here. Let me go to about right there. Okay, watch this for a second. See that house right there, how it goes up? And then there's this wooden fence right in front of it. And then over here, you've got this awning and then 2 windows over there. Now watch this. You see the awning over here? I don't know if this is it or not. I'm just thinking, wow, I mean, that's kind of weird to have the same crap. But in her picture, it's almost like she's standing in this yard here, and these bricks aren't there. I don't know. You know, I don't know how to... Maybe it's it, maybe it's not. Well, it just looks... Well, I call it brick shit because look how it's just completely... They're adding it to this house. I mean, it's really odd. It's strange. That could have been there, though. I don't know for sure. It looks new, though, to me. The windows and everything. So, I don't know. I can't see because it's the angle. If you're over here, let's say she's just walking out of that house and you go up, you can mainly just see this portion here because you're way over here. Could be back there, maybe. And then you'd see... Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because it looks like there's a garage door maybe. Well, there is one right there. And there's that tree, though, is a lot smaller, but it would be. That's 10 years ago. Because there's a tree there, and let's see if there's a telephone pole. Should be one. I don't know. We won't spend too much time on it. It's one of those homes there. Oops. Alright, so there's nothing more on this article here. It's hard to know for sure, though. And then the FBI put something out. There was actually this video that they had. They said it was 12 years ago, so I just put it where I felt like I wanted to put it. They have a profile on him. CBC News.
The FBI is helping police investigate the slaying of Ontario.
This is a 12-year-old news clip.
Nurse Sonia Varaschin. They now have a profile of the killer. We also know the person who murdered the 42-year-old Orangeville, Ontario nurse is likely very familiar with the town, and he may have left.
No, it started over again.
The FBI is helping police investigate the slaying of Ontario nurse Sonia Varaschin. They now have a profile of the killer. We also know the person who murdered the 42-year-old Orangeville, Ontario nurse is likely very familiar with the town, and he may have left the area very soon after the crime. Sonia Varaschin was reported missing in August. Her body was found in a wooded area a few days later. Joining me now is former FBI profiler Clint Van Zandt. He's put together many criminal profiles and understands just how useful they can be. Clint Van Zandt joins me by Skype from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Clint, first of all, how do you put one of these profiles together?
Well, the main thing, Carol, is you're looking at the victimology. You're looking at in this case, Sonia, do the authorities consider her a high-risk or a low-risk victim, engaged in high-risk or low-risk activities in a high-risk or low-risk area? And I think the answer to all these is that she did not present a risk to herself, either by who she was or what she was doing or where she was. What that tells authorities pretty quickly, Carol, is the likelihood that the assailant, the killer, knew who she was. Now, may not have known her personally,
the likelihood of it being random is low.
Had stalked or surveilled her and was quickly, Carol, is...
That's probably her house then. Okay, now we can find the house. Awesome. Hold on. That's probably not the one I saw. I was just thinking that was her coming out of her house. Hold on. So it's got a little door, a little small window, and a little deal on the side. Where's the garage door? On the right. Now let's just start here. So that's not it, right? Hopefully they're not using like B-roll. Well, they said 21. I think I see the number 21. Let's try that. 21. And just a second. Crap. This is on forgot the name of that street. I didn't write it down for some reason. There it is. Spring Street. Okay. Spring Street. So let's try 27 Spring Street. Yeah. What town is this again? Orangeville. I have it over here. It looks looked like it said 27 on there. But it doesn't look like that picture. But it looks like right. Oh no, 21. Excuse me. Let me do that again. It's still over there. I don't know. I'm gonna start right at the top of the street here. I wonder if she must live on the street for them to say that. And it could be that house that I thought originally, and they've just torn it down since then. That looks pretty good right there, though. Whatever that, what was that? Hold on. Oh man, that has like, everything looks close except the garage door's on the wrong side. And then that one, none of those are good. I wonder if it's that one right there. Let me look. And this one's new. I wonder if it was torn down because there was a murder there. And it was right there. And that would match. It's not there, right? So the house isn't there currently. So I actually think maybe it was there. Maybe there was one right here that they tore down. What do you guys think? Think that's possible? Here, let me try. What year is this deal? Here, I'm gonna try. What do you mean? Yeah, he's on the next. What? I don't even know what you're talking about, Ian. No, this is the street. No, this is the one. This is the one. It said Spring Street, Ian. Okay, it said Spring Street on it in the article. Is there another Spring Street? Nah, it's not gonna be flipped. They didn't use it. Hey, Ian, I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what street it's the name of the street. Okay, because the article said it was Spring Street. Now, I'm not going to go anywhere, Ian. If you don't respond on the next one, I'm going to put you on timeout. Because you just keep typing the same thing without being helpful whatsoever. This is what I'm talking about. These are the sort of the crap that I don't want to deal with. All right, so you either tell me what street it was or don't comment again, okay? All right, thanks. No, forget it, Ian. I'm not listening to you again. All right. Timeout time. Here we go. Welcome, Sherry. Very cool. Very cool. All right.
Is the likelihood that the assailant, the killer, knew who she was.
And I'm not even saying you're not right. It's just your inability to help.
But had seen her, had stalked or surveilled her, and was aware of her living conditions, and that she might in fact be found alone. So this helps to start to put together a picture of who might have done this, at least behaviorally, based upon how he low-risk victim was. What that tells us.
Yeah, see, that doesn't even look like our street, right? That's crazy right there.
Low risk area. And I think the answer to all these is that she did not present a risk to herself, either by who she was or what she was doing or where she was. What that tells authorities pretty quickly, Carol, is the likelihood.
Oh man, that's crazy. All right, got another one that says 21 on it. I'm going to take this out, this image here, off to the side for now. All right.
Likelihood that the assailant, the killer, knew who she was. Now, may not have known her personally, but had seen her, maybe had stalked or surveilled her, and was aware of her living conditions, and that she might in fact be found alone. So this helps to start to put together a picture
and
of
the map
who might
even
have
had
done
that
this,
spot.
at least behaviorally, based upon how he would have had to have planned to get to the victim in this case.
All right, let's talk about some of the language they use. I mean, in this case, they said, police working on the unsolved murder say her cold-blooded killer may have moved away after a body was found. Do they really, is that really something that you need a profile to tell you, Clint?
Well, it's all part of the profile. In essence, Carol, if you and I consider human behavior...
Talk about some of the language they use. I mean, in this case, they said, police working on the unsolved murder say her cold-blooded killer may have moved away after a body was found. Do they really, is that really something that you need a profile to tell you, Clint?
Well, it's all part of the profile. In essence,
that's
Carol,
pretty funny. She was like, hey, come on.
Behavior, in the States, a 12-inch ruler.
Yeah, so here's the thing. On the map here, if this is where, like here's Spring Street, and if it's one of these townhouses, there's no street view there to figure it out. Okay? But they said Spring Street. The map they had a pin right where I have it here. So is it possible they're wrong? Well, it seems like they could be wrong, except there's that new house being built right there. So, when you can't go down that road on Street View, and there are townhouses down there.
Most of us fall in like between inch 3 and inch 9, like the normal bell curve we would be talking about. That's what we're looking at in a profile too. Unfortunately, in the United States, we have a lot of homicides to look at. The FBI, my former unit, the Behavioral Science Unit, Investigative Support Unit,
Danielle,
they see a lot of crimes as terrible as this one is. And you start to get a feel for the behavior of someone who would commit a crime like this, again, based upon the victimology and based upon the crime scene. You're looking at how bad was the crime scene, what type of injuries did the victim sustain, and in this particular case, that's what we're looking at for the behavior of someone who would commit a crime like this, again, based upon the victimology and based upon the crime scene. You're looking at how bad was the crime scene, what type of injuries did the victim sustain, and in this particular case, Carol, that you're covering, how brazen was the offender. And as you know, he was brazen enough to not only commit this horrible crime, but then he moved the victim. He exposed himself to being seen by taking the victim out, placing her in a car, driving her to a remote body disposal location, moving that car again, probably to get back to his own vehicle.
See, that part right there, that's something that's not what the street looks like that we're looking at. So, that does, however, look like, if you could take this left right here, as I said 50 times, like that area there looks like that could be that. It looks like that could be down in that area. We just can't get there. And so there's no street view. Watch, I'll show you. When I click on the little, see the blue line? That's the only place you can go. We don't get to go down 5 Sprague Street. So there is a little road here that goes down to some townhouses.
Each of those steps could have exposed him to identification, and yet he was again brazen enough to do something like that. The question is, how comfortable was he in that local area? Well, it looks like comfortable enough that he thought if he was seen, he could explain his behavior away for having been there at that time of day or night.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I also find really interesting is that if, you look at a case like this, you compare it to other cases, Clint, and I'm not the expert that you are, but in being in the media, I've certainly seen enough to know that these crimes are really not one-offs, especially with a low-risk victim, like you say. Wouldn't we have seen more similar types of things like we did with the serial killer, Russell Williams?
Well, in this particular case, this individual, number one, Carol, we don't know, of course, if he is a serial killer or not. I think that's part of what the authorities are going by. If they haven't seen similar crimes in the immediate area, or if they haven't seen other crimes across the country, let's say perhaps the assailant could be an over-the-road truck driver where he's driving hundreds of kilometers a day between victims. In this particular case, I think the authorities feel comfortable saying that we haven't seen other similar crimes nearby, so this is probably somebody who lives, works, or travels back and forth through this area. But somehow, Carol, these paths have crossed, and probably crossed long enough for him to identify her as a victim that he wanted to go after.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Former FBI
So there you go with that one. Let me do the... Yeah, Ian knows what we're saying here. He just keeps pretending like, it's like the silent trolls, how you just kind of, you never really quite say anything, but you just keep mumbling away, and even when you're asked something, they keep saying the same thing back. And I just showed everybody 10 times that you can't go down the road there, and then, unless rewind mode's involved. I guess that would be a problem. And hence the reason why rewind mode sucks, It's terrible. All right, autopsy to be done on remains today. A post-mortem is scheduled for Tuesday morning after human remains were discovered over the week in a rural area east of Orangeville. Someone walking their dog discovered the remains Sunday morning in Caledon, about 12 kilometers from Orangeville, and contacted Ontario Provincial Police. Sonia Varaschin, 42, was reported missing by her family last Monday when she didn't show up for work. Police have not confirmed if the remains found are those of a man or a woman. Police investigators do not believe a positive identification of the body will be made until after the post-mortem is completed. The Province Police said in a statement, Beech Grove Side Road, the rural forested area close to where her remains... Okay, there you go. Beech Grove Side Road. Alright, let's see where that is. Beech Grove Side Road. Isn't that where we already were? Okay, that's this road. Okay. Rural forested area close to where the remains were found will remain closed until Wednesday. Okay. Police said, so a forensic unit can examine the scene. On Sunday, Ontario Provincial, I'll just say Province Police, Constable Jonathan Beckett said police were in contact with Varaschin's family regarding the discovery. Varaschin's blood-stained white Toyota Corolla was found in an alley last Monday in Orangeville, some 80 kilometers northwest of Toronto. A trail of blood was also found inside and outside her home. Jeez. Last Friday, police asked the police for help. Sounds like there was just blood all over the place. Like blood in her house, in the trunk, on the bumper, like just, they know she's not alive, or that she wasn't alive, just based on all that. Last Friday, police asked the public for help in finding blood-soaked bedding missing from Varaschin's townhouse. So they must know that the struggle happened in the bedroom, on the bed, and they can't find the bedding, and they know that was probably used to likely wrap her up, put her in the trunk of the vehicle. While police said they have no suspect in the case, they told the family to brace for the worst. Police said the culprit is likely someone Varaschin knew or was familiar with her. According to police, the investigation suggests the culprit left Varaschin's house in the woman's Toyota and returned to downtown Orangeville with the car sometime later. Hey, thank you, Darrell Griggs. Days of ground, air, and trail. I'm getting that energy fade. You know what I mean? This one. I love instead of the longer crash, basically it's like this. Let's see if it works. There we go. According to police, the investigation suggests the culprit left Varaschin's house in the woman's Toyota and returned to downtown Orangeville with the car sometimes late. Okay, yeah. Right. So it's interesting that he drove all the way back. So here's what the deal is then. Okay. So if you're just going to logically think about it, the killer, drove near her house, probably parked not here, but somewhere, let's just say here or something. Walks over to her house, kills her inside of her room on her bed, wraps her up in the bedding, put her in her own trunk. Then he drove from there easily, just ding, 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 boom, right here, down Highway 10, down out here somewhere, and then dumped her body somewhere out here. And then he drove back the vehicle, came all the way back, parked it generally near where he had left his car. So right over here, parked it out of the way from her house just to keep things confused. Then he walks over to his vehicle that may have been parked here a short time and then drove away in that vehicle. Does that make sense? I think that's just absolutely the way it worked. Or he happens to live in the area. But it might not be that. I think, it'd be weird if he just lived right around in here. And he could be somebody that lived over here, walked to the house, but man, people don't normally do that. That's just an idea, a thought. Doesn't necessarily have to be it. According to police, the investigation suggests the culprit left Varaschin's house in the woman's Toyota and returned to the downtown Orangeville with the car. Days of ground, air, and trail searches of the Orangeville area, which is predominantly rural, failed to find traces of Varaschin. Okay. Now we're about halfway down here. Remains are missing nurse. They now can grieve more than a week after she vanished, and 2 days after human remains were found. The family of Sonia Varaschin finally got the information that dashed their hopes of finding her alive. So they were told that was her body. The steady succession of visitors to the Bolton, Ontario home where Varaschin's parents lived began around 2 p.m. Orangeville Police Chief Joseph Tomei arrived at 2:45 p.m. and left just after 3, refusing to speak to reporters. Ontario Provincial Police issued a statement at 5 p.m. saying that human remains found by a dog walker just off Beach Grove SD Road in Caledon Sunday morning were those of missing 42-year-old Orangeville woman. The identity was confirmed by an autopsy performed on the remains in Toronto on Tuesday. Her death has been ruled a homicide. Really? Jeez, thank you. Nobody had an idea. It's weird. Okay. The Varaschin family has been notified. Reached on the phone. Varaschin's brother, Viv Varaschin, politely denied comment, saying, "I have no comment." Varaschin's a nurse who previously worked at Sick Kids Hospital. When she didn't show up for work at a Mississauga pharmaceutical firm the next day, her family reported her missing. That morning, her blood-stained white Toyota Corolla was found abandoned in a downtown Orangeville alleyway, a short drive from her Spring Street home, where more blood was found. Investigators believe Varaschin's killer used her car to drive her body to the wooded area before driving it back. I think it's pretty obvious. OPB and Orangeville police investigators believe that someone in the community holds the key to solving this homicide. They ask that anyone who may have seen Varaschin's car during the late hours of August 29th or before 10 a.m. on August 30th to contact police. More information is expected to be released during a Wednesday afternoon press conference. So right over here it has some kind of a map 3, a body is found. So that's basically where we have it. You know, way and out in that direction. Body is found near Caldon, a 10-minute drive from Varaschin's home. Tuesday's autopsy revealed it was Sonia. And let's see, 1, family reports are missing. So her family lives down here. 2 is where the Toyota and her townhouse up in here in Orangeville. Yeah, so we basically have it like that. So you go down here and then out in this general area. I mean, I don't know, but you could probably go by and there's probably flowers on the road or something like that out in this area. Kind of surprised they have street view out here. So you've been there. Why don't you, I don't know if they're going to get more specific, but we are going to get pictures coming up here in some of the other articles. So I'll just kind of keep this in general. I don't know if it's a little bit further out, but let me go to the next article here. So that's a picture from, I guess, the house. And then there's some interesting stuff about shoes I thought was kind of cool. Investigators now believe they know what kind of footwear Sonia Varaschin's killer wore the night the former nurse was slain. Orangeville Police and the Ontario Provincial Police held a press conference in downtown Wednesday where they displayed numerous pairs of boots with a sole that they say matches that of some prints found at one of the 3 crime scenes. Once again, we are reaching out to the public with what we believe is a key piece of information. He explained investigators believe the killer wore a size 10 or 11 Wind River or Dakota style work boot, a brand of boots sold exclusively at Mark's Work Warehouse. The exact style and color remains a mystery, but the boots have a distinct tread. Pritchard wouldn't say if the boot prints were, I think the boot prints were, well, they're either found in blood at the house or in dirt off the side of the road where her body was found. If the boot prints were found at Varaschin's home, where it's believed she was murdered last week, at the nearby park where her blood-smeared car was found, yeah, maybe. Or in the wooded area in Caledon. Investigators are hoping the boot prints lead them to the killer, someone Pritchard said is familiar with Orangeville, including the victim's townhouse complex, Caledon, and possibly even Varaschin herself. So those are the soles of the shoes right there. Yeah, those are pretty distinctive, right? With the oval there, kind of a weird looking H thing there. All right. Now we're in September 14th. Fewer tips in Orangeville murder case. Detectives with the joint Orangeville Police Ontario Province Police team are still following all information. The 42-year-old body was found September 6th near a rural road 12 kilometers southeast of Orangeville. Varaschin, a vivacious, outgoing, and athletic single woman, moved into a 2-story home in the town of 27,000 just over 3 years ago. She had worked at a hospital for sick children in Toronto, then South Lake Hospital in Newmarket, before being hired recently by Mississauga pharmaceutical firm. Her parents, who live in the town of Bolton, last heard from her on August 29th. Detectives remain tight-lipped about clues they found in her home, which police are still guarding, but evidence prompted them to warn relatives several days later, expect the worst. An autopsy was performed in Toronto, but the lead investigator, Detective Inspector Mark Pritchard, told reporters Varaschin's cause of death was being held from the public. reached Monday, Michelle Varaschin said the family has not concluded preparations for her daughter's funeral. Several candlelight vigils were planned, but Leon said the organizers contacted the Varaschin's family, who asked them to delay such tributes. And then we're moving forward. What about the shoe? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the guy's going to get rid of his shoes, but somebody might go, oh yeah, I know a guy that wore those. Police say the cold-blooded killer of Ontario nurse may have left area, police say. Well, yeah, that's what the FBI profile said. I'd say he's a cold-blooded killer. He killed somebody who he'd considered a very low-risk victim. Criminal profile from the FBI. So this is probably when that would have been a better video timing to play. Criminal profile from the FBI Behavior Analysis Unit in Virginia recently met with investigators on the case. The meeting, described by police as an investigative summit, also included senior homicide detectives from the Provincial Police force. Police also found blood inside and outside her home and had asked the public to be on the lookout for blood-stained bedding. Days of ground air and trail searches of the Orangeville area, which is predominantly rural, failed to find traces of the missing woman. Remains discovered days later in a wooded area in Caldone, about 12 kilometers from Orangeville, were later confirmed. Yeah, this one's in May of 2011 now. Yeah, so I'm not going to go through this stuff that much. There was this net they tried to cast with DNA testing all over the place. And, you know, just was creating issues. It was sort of like not really, you know, some people didn't think it was ethical. But obviously somebody has some DNA here, so I'm wondering what the holdup here. You know, now that you see something like this, obviously you realize that checking the DNA of a select group of suspects isn't any more intrusive than, like she may have been sexually assaulted. There may have been a struggle, and maybe they found his DNA under her fingernails. I mean, who knows, right? But it sounds like they obviously have it. And this is in 2012, February 2nd. Police insist murder investigation still ongoing. The case of a murdered Orangeville nurse is very much ongoing, police say. Sonia Varaschin, 42, disappeared August 30th, 2010. Investigators found the murder victim blood at her home and in her Toyota Corolla, which was left in an alley. Her body was found 12 kilometers away. Yep. Let's see. Forensic tests continue, but results take time. The OPP won't reveal the number collected, but Leon said the vast majority of people approached have no problem. Talking about the DNA. So it says the project began last June with investigators hoping to match a sample to what is believed to be the killer's DNA, he said. So they think they have the killer's DNA, so they need to be hopping on FGG right now. I don't know, maybe he felt like he left forensic information in the body and needed to take it. Right? Like, you know, if he sexually assaulted the body, he probably felt like he had to take the body and then hide it. But then there was other DNA, you know, when the body was found, they found the DNA inside her, perhaps. All right. But, yeah, we're in the last portion of the show, everybody. We're not even at the notebook level again. So if you guys would like to help out the channel and thus the charities at the end of the month, that would be fantastic. I know I'm not doing the Kylie Rodney cases and all the really cool, neato cases, but if you want me to keep doing these types of cases, we can't have the crappy nights. You know what I'm saying? So it's why I don't want to be. I'm just. It's just an absolute struggle, you know. Yeah, right. Police added that whoever killed Varaschin was wearing men's size 10 or 11 boots, sold only at Mark's work warehouse. They asked the public to think back to anyone who may have come home with unexplained stains on his clothes or footwear. That sort of let's see. Later, to narrow their list of suspects, police also asked for voluntary DNA samples from men, so they're probably just seeing how you would react. The sort of collaboration with the public remains an extremely important part of an investigation that has never waned in its intensity, said Dobbin, the lead case manager on Varaschin's file. There's still a dedicated team of investigators that are assigned solely to this investigation. That hasn't changed, she said. Police have said the person responsible for the crime likely knew Varaschin and the local area. What do you mean no taco? So no taco popped up? I don't get it. I don't know what that even means. Jeez. She didn't have any high-risk behaviors. There was no drugs involved, no night clubbing or anything out late without telling anybody, said Marja Buljic, a close friend of Varaschin. Yeah. So this is probably just somebody, you know, you wonder if it was somebody, God, maybe, you know, somebody she worked with maybe, or it's weird. She seemed kind of like a quiet person, you know. Thanks, Olivia Dorado. I thought so too. But, you know, that's the problem when you're not doing the big one. Nobody cares, right? It's just like, you know, you get 220 people watching when you're covering really interesting cases, but you can sit there and cover Kylie Rodney, who you don't have any information other than she was at a party, the car rolled into the water, and she drowned in the car. That's it. I mean, she died in the car, and that, you know, everything else is invented and created. This one has all this information, and it's not solved. All right, so behind the crimes, who killed Sonia Varaschin? 11 years later, investigators hunt for answers. So there looks like there's a place on the side of the road. Appears to still visit regularly. So we could actually get in. Let me start at the end of this thing. It's going to start right here, maybe, and go the other direction. Because I bet you it's still sitting there on the side of the road. This is from 2022. This is actually just April this year. Is that it right there? That's a fire hydrant, right? Wow, you guys have fire hydrants all over the place. Oh wait, I did have something I was going to show you guys randomly. A viewer named a freak, I guess, named Barbara. Look at that. That's her dog watching my show right here. That's like, you can barely see my head there, but here, look. See that? That's me on the screen over there. Well, you can't see it. Hold on. Right there. See, he's got my Under Armour hat and everything. That's pretty good. Yeah, you can get those damn dogs to do anything these days, right? Thanks, Sean Beecham. Well, we're going to need to get... hold on. Gotta scroll up. Did I miss anybody? No. Yeah, Daryl. So, are we getting close here? On here? Welcome, Danielle. Alright, here we go. Maybe it's in that next little clearing there. Ah, there it is? Okay. He's just been waiting there. He's had it stored. I bet it's further down the road. Yep. Oh, man. See, I could have just kept going. Well, it's further out. That's more out than they had. That's 12 miles from... Maybe they measured it from, like, here or something. The city limits or something. Yeah, that would have been hard because I probably would have had to go that whole way and then turn around and come back and then test further. Let's see. Yep, it's right on the, looks like there's a little marker right there. There you go. Well, thank you. There's the answer. Outside of the 12 kilometers, they said, from her house. Alright. Body found. Hey, thanks, Zozo. Appreciate it. Well, that's kind of weird. Wonder how they measured that then. Although I guess if you drove, I mean, let's see. It was right there. Let me try a different thing. So if they were right here, let's see what happens. Oh, that's not the one. I need this one. So if you're right there, and then you took a different turn, there's probably a way, yeah, like this. Maybe they went here, and then here, and then boom. Let's see what that is. 12.3. See, that would have worked. Yeah, that one's probably the one. That's it's a shorter route for sure. This one would have, you can tell just by looking at it. So that's probably the way that they drove to get to it. Alright. It's been more than 10 years of questions without answers surrounding the death of Sonia Varaschin. While police say they have received more than 1,500 tips, minimal information in the case has ever been released. It seems like they released quite a bit, but they didn't really mention how she died or anything like that. Orangeville recently saw a policing switch to Dufferin OPB, but let's see. In October 2020, Global News aired an episode of Crime Beat focused on Sonia's murder. Crime reporter Catherine McDonald interviewed Sonia's mother, Ms. Michelle Varaschin. To this day, the Varaschin family does not know how Sonia died. Wow, that's crazy. I don't know nothing. The only thing I know is where they found her body. You better believe I'm frustrated. I have a right to know. Well, they should be doing something with the DNA, don't you think? I mean, they should have that should have been the first one on their list. You should ask them if they're interested in that. Hell, maybe we can pay for it, right, Daryl? Next year sometime. The frustration of not being able to solve the case bring justice to Varaschin's family, those things are real. Despite more than a decade passing, Glassford says he doesn't believe the likelihood of solving the case has decreased, though it does present additional challenges. Sometimes the distance in time makes it better or it helps. On August 30th, 2010, a white Toyota Corolla was found abandoned beyond Orangeville Town Hall with blood smeared on its bumper. The ownership inside led police to the home of Sonia, a 42-year-old local healthcare professional. So the car is what led to her. Interesting. Police are still offering a $50,000 reward. No, Daryl, you have to send me a super chat for covering the case in general. Well, you already did, though, so. Alright, so that's her here. Someone has the key to solving the brutal murder of Ontario nurse 11 years ago. I'm going to just type in the word DNA. I think it's probably all just going to be repeated stuff. Police previously said they recovered DNA evidence believed to belong to the killer, but so far there has been no match. A $50,000 reward, authorized by Province of Ontario, remains in place. To date, more than 1,500 tips have been received regarding the investigation. And this is one from about 2 weeks ago. Ontario Province Police continue to search for the killer of a woman who was murdered in Orangeville 12 years ago. This is cp24.com. Later, let's see, on August 30th, 2010, 42-year-old Sonia Varaschin was reported missing after she didn't show up for work. Later that day, police said Varaschin's blood-stained Toyota Corolla was found abandoned behind a business on Broadway in downtown Orangeville. Police said they believe the pediatric nurse, who had just started a new job at a pharmaceutical company, was murdered inside her home. Varaschin was then believed to have been wrapped in a bedsheet and dragged out of the home, according to police. Officers from the former Orangeville Police Service, along with OPB, conducted an investigation into her death. On February 5th, 2010, police said Varaschin's remains were found in a wooded area near Beech Grove side of the road on Mountain View Road. Now that would have, I think as soon as we read that, we would have got it, right? Let's see. Where's Mountain View Road? I don't know. Is that really here? Let's see. So that would have made it a little bit more like Mountain View Road and here, and then we'd know that it was kind of, that would have been a better intersection. So it was Mountain View and Beech Grove. So that would have helped. Varaschin was then believed to have been wrapped. Okay, police said they believe the pediatric nurse who had just started a new job was murdered inside of her home. Varaschin was then believed to have been wrapped in bed sheets and dragged out of the home, according to police, because there was blood, a trail of like smear marks leaving the house. Varaschin was then believed to have been wrapped in the bedsheet and dragged out of the home, according to police. Officers from the former Orangeville Police Service, along with OPB, conducted an investigation into her death. On September 5th, 2010, police said Varaschin's remains were found in a wooded area near Beech Grove Side Road and Mountain View Road in Caledon. Her death was ruled a homicide. 12 years later, the investigation into the murder remains active under the direction of the OPB Criminal Investigation Branch. A $50,000 reward is still available for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person. Yeah, so anyways, that's about it. There, I got some pictures of her here. That, like, that's her as a pediatric nurse there. Right there. So, absolute nightmare, really. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, anyways, thanks everybody. That's gonna do it for me tonight. Don't have any more to add or anything, so I appreciate you being here. Hopefully, we can get back on track here pretty soon. Let's see. So we start off with Quietly Frozen. She says she's going to listen to the show for a little while, but have to go to bed soon. Then Eugenie. Then Sandy. Then Susanna Nicola Podrick. She said, hide this under your jail mattress for future bail. Then we had Sandy's a new channel member. Thank you. Kathy Friedmaker. Cairo. Hellatrix. Amber Maiden. Cairo said, thank you for standing up. Or no, Amber said, thank you for standing up for victims, families, and friends. That alone makes a difference. Cairo said, you need to have special episode when it passes 100,000. Yeah. I think it should be at the end of this month. I mean, I think donation night, if we, and if we quit having nights like the last few, we'll be able to easily get there, right? Let's see, then Mama 457 Rose, Dreaming Girl, Quality Over Quantity, she said, Kathy Fradenmaker, Reading Juice, and then Your Gypsy, Mary Gaviano, as in Mary Gaviano, Daryl Montgomery, this case happened 15 to 20 minutes from me, surprised you even found it, drove by where she was found last week. Don't worry, I won't jump ahead and say anything. Then Eugenie, Quietly Frozen, Huck Kurinsky, Mama 457 Rose, Tamara, and let's see, Sari Shares, welcome, new member, Darrell Greggs, Loretta Reyes, Olivia Dorado, Danielle became a new member. Thank you. And Zozo right at the end. And then on PayPal, we had No Place Like Home Crochet and TTJO. Alright, so we're going to just spin for a free cart mug with a sketch because we're combining the two nights. But that's all I can do, unfortunately. Alright, so let me get rid of these ones at the end here. The blank spaces. Yeah. I think this is, this is like two nights here. Pretty sure. Can't remember now. If not, yeah, should be. All right. So it's going to be a free cart mug with a sketch. So there we go. Yeah, thanks, the king. I'm not gonna do that, the king. Yeah. See, you guys call that. See, that's what I don't. That's what I don't like. See, here's the thing. Like, you get the idiots like the king in yellow up there saying, "Cover Kylie tomorrow and get some views. All the e-begging is painful to watch." Well, the problem is, everybody, if I don't keep asking and trying to get people to send in super chats and so forth, we aren't going to be able to do any of the stuff that we've been doing. All right. So I hate asking, and I hate doing that part of the show. And so that's why it's frustrating to me when we go like hour and it's just nothing, right? So if I don't say anything, it doesn't happen. And the only way I can make it happen is, I'm not going to be able to do the show. I definitely will not do the show if if there isn't an income of some sort where I do 3-4 hour shows every single day of the year, okay? and I cover all kinds of different cases. So when you get morons like the King in Yellow up there, that's what people like him perceive. But if I don't say anything, it doesn't happen, okay? And, you know, there's got to be income for the channel, and there's got to be income at the end of the month, because I give over 50% to charity. So morons like the King in Yellow, who watches channels who give nothing to anybody, can just shut the hell up, okay? He's an embarrassment. Now, see, it's not trolling the King in Yellow. Here, let's put the dipshit King in Yellow back on here, okay? Yeah, it's not trolling. I'm telling the truth over there, okay? When I go over to a channel like I've been watching, who covers the Kylie Rodney case 4 times a day. No, it's not, idiot. Okay, we know who this guy is. He's going to get... This guy is a total dipshit again. Okay, so... what trolling is when you go over and you just sort of say something and it doesn't have a meaning. There is a meaning. I literally am telling you the truth. When these people do these channels and they cover the same case 4 times a day, over and over and over again, to get as many subs as they possibly can, over and over again, when there's no information at all, it's disgusting. And so are people like you, the King in Yellow. Okay, so get the hell out of here. And I can't stand it. I could easily do it too. I could sit there, I could have went, wow, because I am better at computers and looking at images and figuring things out than the people doing that. And I could sell absolute garbage to tons of people and get, wow, that's so interesting, because a lot of people are just dumb. They believe it all. Okay, that's what goes on over there. Who cares about the people standing in the background? Oh, they looked weird. Ooh, the guy turned his head funny. I mean, it's just ridiculous stuff. There's nothing of value being done over there, but people just lap it up, and it destroys the entire true crime genre 100%. They're not I don't consider them in it, but they say they are, and that's what sucks about it. Okay, really, it's terrible. And I don't understand how people don't see that. But anyways, let's do the spin here. This is going to be for the free cart mug with a sketch. All right? Well, just don't watch then, Gray. Ah, screw that, man. God, garbage. All right, here we go. There's Quietly Frozen with a free cart mug with a sketch. All right, well, we're going to spin again because she normally doesn't take it. So here we go. So why do you always do that, TTGO? I've covered a case and you go on, ooh, and you have to quickly run out and try to like find something else. It's like we're done. We just covered it, right? So anyways, hey, look at that. No Place Like Home Crochet won the free cart mug with a sketch. All right. It's just weird how you do that every time. It's like, all right. Anyways, total buzzkill end of the show there, especially when the mods just sort of left the comment up there for like 10 minutes. So, yeah, just got rid of that one. You know, if you guys get rid of those things, I'm not even referring to them. And no, it's not. Yeah, I don't think it's trolling at all. I mean, what trolling is when you go somewhere. I don't care if I go over there and I lose subs. And I did. I lost like 20 subs because I went over there and I said exactly what I think. And I even told him, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, go right over to my channel if you're subscribed over there and unsubscribe immediately. Because what I'm saying right now is true. What I said on the screen was, why don't you cover other cases that need help out there instead of the same one over and over and over again? And she said, I just have cases that touch me. You know, like Chris Watts, Gabby Petito, this one. Right, you know what? You only have the really popular cases touch you. Both the cases I just covered tonight are more interesting than the Kylie Rodney case. They had more stuff going on. And the reality is there's a whole bunch of those out there that could use the help. So instead of just covering the same ones 4 times a day, saying, here's a reset of a reset. Okay, instead of doing that, help something. God, it's absolutely embarrassing. And I'm more embarrassed of society. That they just sit there and they think it's interesting to stare at these little high school kids that are in the background and, look what they're saying. Man, you know what I hope? This is what I hope. I hope if it turns out it's an accident, which it likely is, it's also a possibility that, maybe somebody pushed the car in the water or something like that. But if it turns out to be an accident, and all you same idiots that watch that stuff in Glee, you don't turn your back on that type of trash, you should be ashamed of yourself, because they just sat there and absolutely we're just speculating. We're not accusing anybody. God, what a load of shit. Yeah, every single day it's the same people being accused. And I think it's horrific and disgusting. And even if it turns out to be foul play, what they're doing is wrong. Okay? A lot of those people they're talking about had nothing to do with anything. God. Hideous. Absolutely hideous. Yes, we all speculate on true crime, but you should speculate reasonably based on the facts presented. You should see what it is unreal. Unreal. They went over, that Kylie Rodney interview on that guy's channel where he had the glasses early on, like he's the first person that covered. They played that thing like 10 times over, just nitpicking every single phrase, trying to find something. Now, is she involved? Who the hell knows? We don't have the results or answers. We don't have anything right now. But none of the stuff that you're pointing out meant anything. I can tell you that. Now, the 1236 call she said she got, we still haven't ever got an answer for that. But it sounds like she got a call from her, like Kylie called her, Sammy's phone. So I don't think somebody would just make that up if it's easily provable that it didn't happen. So maybe she just has the time wrong. That's the only thing that I've got. Everything else, when I watch her, didn't get any weird. People are saying they get Chris Watts vibes listening to her. Do you actually think that's legitimate at all? Wow, you're assigning Chris Watts's behavior to this 18-year-old girl. Yeah, I don't know, man. Unbelievable shit, really. Yeah, none of them, Monica. None of them at all. They haven't even been brought in for questioning. Nothing. Nothing at all. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So, it just is what it is. All right, everybody. That's it. Sorry if you guys don't like that kind of stuff, but I just have to say what I'm thinking, and I don't think it's trolling at all. I'm just saying the absolute truth. When I went over there, I even said, listen, I could easily have owned this case. I could have pretended, and they go, oh, you got such a huge ego. It's not really an ego. I just know that I am good at video and analyzing images, and if I wanted to trick people, I could do it. Like, I literally could pretend, but I just don't do that kind of stuff. I don't just sit there and go, oh, look at that. Ah, wow, did you see the way the guy turned? Ooh. And just make these really sort of sensationalistic, quick videos. That's what she does all the time. Makes these little short ones like, hey, guys, I'm just still really working hard for you guys. I'm really working hard. Now, look, I just found this, this comment here. What do you guys think? I don't know. It just seems kind of odd that the person said, they said this and everything, and I don't know, man. We'll talk about it later, though, okay? Whoa. Just crazy shit. Yeah, well, thanks, Daryl. Thanks for hanging out, listening. Thanks for giving us the final clarification. I might have been able to kind of deduce it once, because it was right in between where I had it and that road, maybe. I don't know. It was sucked that I picked the wrong. I should have went the shortest route from there. Then I think it would have been closer. I just kind of thought, well, there's a highway. That's probably... The killer probably took this route, I would think, just to get the hell out of Dodge quick. Oh, it would have taken a long time, though, Daryl. Because then I would have... Well, I would have maybe gone all the way to the end of the road, the other direction, first, Yeah, would have taken a while. What I probably should have done was just start here and just went that way. Since I was going to go from there anyways, might as well start there. But anyways, we never got to read. We didn't read the article first either. I should have, like a lot of times I don't like looking up all the stuff before, because it's sort of not really as fun. Like, oh, here's the spot. Here, I got this. And then when we try to look at it together on the street view, I think it's kind of fun doing that. You can't see what? Oh, I wasn't really showing anything. I was just... Yeah, it's just over here, Like this way was shorter, and I could have started over here and went this way to here, because the road ends right there. I don't think it continues over here. No, that's still Beech Grove over there. But they said east of 10, so I could have gone from here to there, because that's where it ends, instead of starting here and going to there. But anyways, it wasn't really that interesting. Yeah, eventually he might have said something, yeah. So, okay, everybody, thank you for being here tonight, and hopefully tomorrow. I think I'm just gonna avoid. I'm getting tired, stressed out, seeing the de-evolution of crime on YouTube, on the live side. It's just turned into just a pile of shit. Okay. And hopefully you guys still like the way I do it. We just work through the cases, map them out, try to figure it out, get the word out there. I do hear from family members quite often on the cases saying, hey, thank you for covering it. And sometimes they talk about they want to come on, and they might come on, and sometimes they talk about coming on, but they end up not doing it because they're, they were excited at first, and then they thought, well, I don't really want to get my name out there and that kind of thing. So that's just the way it is, and I'm going to continue to do it the way I do it. And when I happen to be covering one of the things that was crazy when I was in there today is somebody said, Gray, you should cover the Jolissa Fuentes case then. And I said, well, I covered it 3 times before anybody else even looked at it. And the only reason any of you looked at the Jolissa Fuentes case is because Adventures with Purpose said that they were going to go out there. That's the only reason. Yeah, other than that, you wouldn't have touched it. I guarantee it. So, yeah, we already covered it because people don't actually know what the hell we're doing over here. It's usually like $6,000 to $8,000, Patty. It's expensive. Yeah. So, isn't that funny? They say that. No, we never even looked at the Julissa Fuente. Thank you, though. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm down 22 subs, and I don't care if it goes down 1,000 at this point. I really just don't care. I want people that realize what that crap that's going on is horrible and horrific, but it really doesn't matter what I think or what a lot of you think, to be honest with you, because sensationalism wins the day, and just staring and just creating this crazy hype for for out of nothing is what people like. You know, the masses like that stuff, and that's what's scary. You know, it's like people don't like. I bet you if the same show was like that in the 50s, people would go, "What kind of garbage is that? What a load of crap! What did that guy do? He's just standing there." Yeah, but today it's just a different world, man. Different world. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys next time. And thank you for being here and supporting the channel. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grayl's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, free connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm here in a specter with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody. All right. Anyways, thank you guys very much. I think I'm just gonna, I'll just try to get back to just. I think it's not good for my mental health watching just the travesty unfolding. So, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time, and be safe out there. Hey, that little bot could say 97, couldn't it?